Members of the Iranian parliament have condemned anti-government protesters and called for the death of 2 opposition leaders as Tehran prepares for a second day of demonstrations. Yesterday, security forces fired tear gas to break up the protests and 2 people were reported to have been killed. The Iranian unrest is the latest in the wave of protests sparked by Tunisia and Egypt. Middle East correspondent Ben Knight reports.
Spurred on by what they've seen in Egypt, thousands of anti-government protesters in Iran took to the streets overnight. They're chanting Mubarak, then Ali, now it's your turn, Sayyid Ali, first names of Iran's supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamene'i. This is a rare show of dissent against the country's entrenched ruler. It's been met with a firm hand by the security forces, who responded with tear gas and paintball pellets.
The difference between Iran and Egypt is the Iranian security forces have been told to crack down very hard on the opposition. I'm sure they will do that.
Hundreds of people have been arrested and at least 1 person has been killed. Iran's 2 main opposition leaders, Mir Hossein Mousavi and Mehdi Karoubi, are reportedly under house arrest and access to many internet sites in Iran has been blocked. The protesters were condemned in the Iranian parliament on Tuesday morning. MPs chanted, "Death to Mousavi, death to Karoubi." These protests are the first major show of public dissent in Iran since 2009, when hundreds of thousands of people demonstrated in the wake of the country's disputed presidential election. Those protests were crushed mercilessly. The demonstrators have vowed to return to the streets again today. The US Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, has criticised the Iranian government's response, accusing it of double standards.
What we see happening in Iran today is a testament to the courage of the Iranian people and an indictment of the hypocrisy of the Iranian regime, a regime which, over the last 3 weeks, has constantly hailed what went on in Egypt. And now, when given the opportunity to afford their people the same rights as they called for on behalf of the Egyptian people, once again, illustrate their true nature.
Mass protests are also expected again today in Bahrain, where police clashed with demonstrators yesterday. Security forces fired tear gas and rubber bullets on thousands of people calling for political reform. 2 people have been killed and at least 25 were treated for injuries. And in Cairo, which has provided the inspiration for the protests, the mood for change continues as well, despite the departure of the deposed president, Hosni Mubarak. Thousands of public servants, police and bank workers took advantage of the lifting of the state of emergency and staged new demonstrations demanding better pay and conditions. The initial target of their anger might have left the country, but after decades of his dictatorship, it's going to take some time to sort out all of Egypt's problems. Ben Knight, Lateline.